Hey guys, welcome back to Lift Online. In today's tutorial, we're going to be focusing on core stability exercises. Core stability is fundamental in all of the skills that we perform at lifts. And the exercises that you find in this tutorial today are not only going to improve your performance, but help improve things such as your posture as well. To get started with this tutorial, all you need is yourself. Get warmed up and jump straight into exercise 1. Exercise 1 is going to see us starting with the high plank. The high plank is an excellent drill for conditioning straight arm pushing strength and building awareness in the trunk and the posterior tilt of the hips. The setup for this position is going to require you to place the hands on the floor in front of you, at shoulder width or just wider. Ensure that your fingers are pointing straight ahead or just out to the outside. Externally rotate the shoulders, ensuring that the shoulders remain protracted at all times. From here, you're going to slide the legs out behind you into this top position of the press up. The hardest variation of the high plank will see you pointing your toes, which is going to increase the activation of the quads and help you strengthen that hip position for skills such as the handstand. From here, you're going to hold this position for anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds for a total of 3 to 5 rounds. Now, if you struggle to get into this position with the feet pointed, then simply move into a traditional press-up position at the ankle with the toes tucked underneath. Once again, hold this position for anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds for 3 to 5 rounds before moving on to the next exercise. For exercise 2, we're now going to be looking at a side plank. When we're addressing core stability, it's important to not only strengthen the front of the trunk, but the sides and the back as well. For the side plank, you're going to take one hand and place it on the floor beside you, ensuring that the middle finger is pointing directly away from your head. The idea here is to externally rotate the shoulder and squeeze underneath the armpit, ensuring that we're pressing as far away as we can from the body. Taking the legs out in front of you, you're going to step the top leg over the bottom leg for added stability and drive off of the outside of the bottom foot. From here, you're going to lift your other arm and make sure that that shoulder is also externally rotated as you drive away with the base hands. Squeeze the glutes and hold a posterior tilt. Hold this for anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds for a total of 3 to 5 rounds before moving on to exercise 3. For our third exercise, we're now going to look at the reverse high plank. The reverse high plank is the complete opposite to the plank that we did in exercise 1. Rather than having protracted, pressing shoulders, we're now looking at having retracted and depressed shoulders, with the shoulders placed in extension behind you. In the seated position, place the hands behind you so the shoulders are actively in extension, with the middle fingers pointing directly away from you or slightly to the sides. Depress and retract the shoulder blades before finally driving the hips up into this reverse plank position. Squeeze the glutes and the quads hard and ensure that you remain in a posterior tilt and the shoulders remain above the hands. Point the toes and hold this position for 30 to 60 seconds for a total of 3 to 5 rounds before moving on to exercise 4. Exercise 4 is a staple when it comes to developing core stability for gymnastics and is an excellent drill for helping you develop a strong posture. Starting in the back position, we're going to lie down onto the floor. The first variation of this exercise is the easiest. You're going to bring the knees in, ensuring that they are sitting just above or behind the hips, shortening the levers as much as possible. Flex through the trunk by pulling the chest towards the thighs and hold the hands out in front of you so the palms are facing upwards. I like to imagine that I'm holding dinner plates. Keep contracted through this position and adduct the legs hard, concentrating on your breathing. The next variation of this drill is going to also have the legs tucked, but this time we're going to add flexion of the shoulder. Ensure that you're elevating the shoulders as well as externally rotating, meaning that your thumbs are pointing down. Moving on, we can add a little more leverage. This time, we're going to stick one leg out while the other is bent. The body position is exactly the same. It's a good idea to swap the legs throughout the hold. The next progression is going to see us holding the hollow body, but in a straddle with the hands above the head. The body position is exactly the same, with the hands elevated above, externally rotating at the shoulders and flexed through the trunk, pointing the toes, squeezing the quads and glutes. The final variation of the hollow body is by far the most challenging, and this involves the hands above the heads as well as the legs extended out in front of you and squeezed together. We look to hold any of these positions for 30 to 60 seconds for a total of 3 to 5 rounds before moving on to the next exercise. Our next exercise in this routine is the opposite to the hollow body. This is the Superman hold. The setup for this position is going to see you placing yourself on the floor prone so that your chest is down. The hand position should mean that your thumbs are facing up towards the ceiling, and this is going to help to maintain external rotation at the shoulder. External rotation is going to help to activate the all-important middle back or thoracic. With the legs extended out behind you and the toes pointed, you're going to arch up into this Superman position and hold for somewhere in the region of 6 to 10 seconds based on your level of ability before returning back to the start position. Repeat this for 6 to 10 repetitions over the course of 3 to 5 rounds before moving on to the next exercise. Exercise 6 is a great exercise for not only developing all-round core stability, but also conditioning the correct position and patterning for the handstands. Exercise 6 is the reverse hollow body. The setup for this position is going to see you placing yourself once again prone on the floor. Extend the legs out hard behind you and point the toes, driving the bridge of the foot into the floor and squeezing your glutes into a posterior pelvic tilt. From here, you're going to place your hands on their fingertips, which is going to give your shoulders room to work and externally rotate. You want to imagine that you're hugging the floor. You'll see here that Mr. Pep is pressing down into the floor with his fingers and his toes to create this beautiful reverse hollow shape. Hold this for anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds for 3 to 5 rounds before moving on to exercise 7. For our last 2 exercises in this routine, we're going to be looking at combining the elements that we've learned so far into more dynamic core stability movements. The first of this is going to be the hollow body to Superman roll. The setup for this position is going to see you in the advanced hollow body position, ensuring that you are active at all time, toes are pointed and hands are extended above the head. From the hollow body, you're going to roll over, maintaining tension at all times until finding yourself in this prone position and pulling back into the Superman. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds before rolling back into this start position. We recommend doing no less than 6 to 10 repetitions of these rolls for 3 rounds before moving on to the next exercise. For our final exercise in this core stability routine, we're going to be looking at high plank around the worlds. The high plank around the world is simply you shifting between high plank, side plank, reverse high plank, and back to the opposite side plank. The setup for this position is going to see you in a nice high plank position with the toes underneath the heels. From here, you're going to look to transfer the weight onto one shoulder, feeling the body roll over the shoulders as you go. Hold this position, registering the tension before taking the top leg and placing it over the bottom, allowing you to stabilize before moving the opposite arm into extension. From here, once again, step the foot over the bottom leg and feel the body rotate over the shoulder into the other side's side plank. You should end in this high plank position before moving back in the opposite direction. We recommend no less than 6 to 10 repetitions as you rotate through the high planks for no more than 3 to 5 rounds. Well done, guys. That concludes our core stability tutorial. We really hope you enjoyed it. All of the exercises in today's video are foundation movements, so you should all be able to manage them with ease. If you struggle to hit those top ranges when it comes to set times, then simply regress back and perform the exercise with perfect form for a shorter time period. As always with any of our videos, if you have any questions, please send them to info@liftthemovement.com and we'll be more than happy to answer those for you. Please remember to also share your progress to Instagram and tag lift.themovement, and we'll be sharing the best of our community. See you later.